Okay, everyone, welcome back to the final part of this series on BBC microbits and your introduction to BBC microbits. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Today, we're going to finish off the project and we're going to make our very own microbit pet. So I'm just going to switch over to what we're going to look at here. So here we are, the microbit pet, and we're going to make our own little electronic pet today. And so, what is it? So, in the 1990s, I actually remember my sisters having these very things. They were called little Tamagotchi, and they had a little interface like this, and you had to look after your pet. So, basically, you had to feed your pet, you had to clean up after your pet, all sorts of things. So, we're going to use our BBC Microbit today to make our very own microbit pet, and in fact, we're going to use we're going to build a little enclosure for our microbit pets as well. I'm going to show you a bit about that a little later on. Okay, so let's switch over to our code here. Okay, so here is our code that we're going to use for making our BBC microbit pet. So what does it do? So our microbit pet is going to start off with a health of 10. Actually, I'll zoom it down a little bit so maybe you can see it a bit better. Yeah, perfect. And then forever, our health is going to go down every second. So basically, every second our pet is plugged in or turned on, it's going to lose some health. Okay. So in order to keep our microbit pet healthy, we need to keep feeding our microbit. So we're going to use an input here, a button, and if the input button A is pressed, then we add 1 to our health, as long as the health is greater than 0. Okay, so how do we check if our pet is healthy? We have this loop here. So we have a forever loop. If the health of the microbit pet is greater than 6, then our little pet is happy. If it's between 6 and 3, then it's okay, it's not so bad. But then if it gets below 3, it gets really sad. And if it goes below 0, then unfortunately our little microbit pet will pass away. It'll expire. Okay, so that's what our goal is today. So we're going to build a little microbit pet. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the website we've been using, makecode.microbit.org. Okay, so here we are on our microbit, makecode.microbit.org. It's up the top there. So we're going to create a new project. We're just going to call it microbit pet. Okay. And we're going to click create. Okay. So the first thing we want to do then is get our on start block here, this one, on start, and we're going to have a variable. So we're going to go down to variables here, and we're going to make a new variable, and it's going to be called health. And press OK. So we're going to set health to 10, okay, to begin with. Then we're going to have our forever block here. And we're going to get the logic gates here, the logic selection it's called. And we're going to use an if statement here, if true. And what we want to do is if something is true, then we're going to change something, okay? So we're going to get another logic item here. So if, and in this case it's going to be if health, we're going to go to variables here and get health. So if health is greater than or equal to 0, we're going to pause for a second. Okay, give a pause. We're going to change that to 1 second, and then we're going to change the health by 1. Okay, so we're going to add 1, or we're going to take away 1, so it needs to be -1. So as our pet is activated, it's going to reduce by 1 every second, basically. Okay, so make sure you choose 1 second here. Okay, next we're going to take another forever loop here, and we're going to add our other parts of our so as the health decreases, we're going to do different things. So we're going to again get the logic one. We're going to go if, and this time it's going to be if we're going to get logic again, we're going to grab this one, comparison operator here. And again, if health, so we're going to grab our variable, if health is greater than or equal to 6, okay? Greater than or equal to 6. Then our microbit, we're going to get it to show an icon, is happy, okay? So we're going to get another one, logic, and we're going to take another one that says if and we can actually, we're going to compare it between two numbers this time. So we need another operator here, and it's called the Boolean operator. So it tells you if one or two things, well, in this case, if both things are true, okay? We can actually take this one now and copy it and then paste it, okay? And we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to paste the next one, and we're going to put that in there. And this time, if it's going to be between two numbers this time, so if it's going to be between 6 and 3, so if it's less than or equal to 6 and greater than or equal to 3, which means it's between 6 and 3, then we're going to show an icon again. Show icon, and this time it's going to be the not so happy one here. You can choose whatever you like for these actually, but and then we're going to do that once more. So I'm going to actually copy this whole block this time. I'm going to copy it, Command C, Command V, and we're going to paste that in there. And this time we're going to change it so if it's between 3 and 0. Okay, so now it's going to get really unhappy because it's getting really sick or really hungry, I suppose. And the last one, then we can copy the top one for this one, copy and paste. And for this one, we want to make sure it's less than equal to 0. So less than or equal to 0. Make sure you choose the less than or equal to 0. And for this one, our little micropet will expire. So we're going to get the skull for that one. Okay, so that's our loop. So as the micropet is activated, every second it gets sadder. And you can see it's getting sad here. It's like, and then eventually it will go to this, okay? So actually we can change this code here a little bit. So it's greater than, and this is greater than as well. Otherwise it'll do both of these at the same time because both of these things will be true. So it should be greater than 6 actually. So that should work now. Okay, so if it's greater than 6, it's happy. Every second it goes past, it gets a bit more sad. And then it's like, oh, I'm feeling so good. Then it gets sad. And then eventually it'll expire, okay? So we want to keep our little micro pet alive. So we're going to use an input for this one. And we're going to use if button A is pressed, then we're going to feed our micro pet. So how can we do that then? Here is we can get, we're going to have a logic again here. So we want to check if it's greater than 0, because after it gets to 0, we just don't want to, we can't feed it anymore because it's not alive basically. So copy that, and we're going to paste it again. But this time we need to check if it's greater than or equal to 0, okay? And we're going to pause for a second. So we're going to go down here, pause for 1 second, and then we're going to change health by 1. So we're going to increase the health by 1, okay? So now when the pet is, it'll get unhappy, for example here, if I feed it, press an A, it should go back up to being happy. Okay. So it should, yeah, so if I go, yeah, Okay, so we can check, does that work? Greater than or equal to 0. Pause for 1 second. Change health by 1. Okay, so let's see, does that work then? And we'll switch over to our microbit here. Again, of course, we need to have a cable with an adapter if you need it, and a microbit, and we just need to plug it in. Okay, and download our code here. Okay. Actually, I seen where I made a little mistake there. We don't need the pause here, so we just take the pause out and just leave that. And then if we let that run, then so if it gets sad, okay, we just wait. So I should be able to, yeah. So every time we get sad, I can feed it by pressing A, and it should go back up to being happy. If it gets really sad, for example, I can feed it again, and then it goes back up to being happy. Okay, so you can see it's working. So we're going to try that code then on our BBC microbit. So again, I'm just going to switch over to here, so it's connected up already, and we can download the code here. Okay, so there's our little micro pet. It's happy at the moment. So it's going to get sad. So if I press the button, it gets happy again. And then it gets sad. It gets sad again. So I can keep feeding him or her. And we can do that, okay? So that works. Our code works. So try that and give it a go. And I'll see you in the next part. And the next task is to actually make our little micro pet enclosure, okay? So our aim is to make this, okay? A little place to put our micro pet into. And we'll switch over to the camera here actually, and we can switch it to here. So this is what it's going to look like here. So we're going to put our micro bit in here. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's going to go inside here, and you can see it's going to connect in, okay? So to do that, then if we go back to our desktop here, again, of course, you need to place a screenshot of your code from the previous lesson here, place it in there. For this task, you're going to need some scissors, a glue stick, and a cardboard template, so that this will be shared with you as well. Okay, so you're going to get your scissors, of course, and you're going to cut out the cardboard cutout. So if I switch over to here, this is what it's going to look like whenever you get it cut out. Okay, so it's a little cardboard cutout. You may need some adult help to cut out the middle piece here. It's quite a bit tricky. You may need to use a sharp knife to do that. But once you've cut it out, I find the best idea was to actually fold it flat here, and you can cut off the excess piece. So you don't need to use all of this card here. And then you can place the microbit inside. So when you're gluing it down, make sure you don't glue the microbit inside glue it first. And then when you get it, it should look something like this, okay? And you just need to place your microbit inside here. So I'm going to place them inside there, and it should line up with the holes in here. Okay, so it should line up. You may need a bit of work to get it to line up properly. And then once you've got it lined up, you can connect your microbit at the top here. And then you should see your pet is happy there. In there, yeah. And then it's yeah, so it's going to be. And then if you want to feed it, you need to press the button to feed it. Okay, so that should be that part done. Okay, once you've done that, I want you to take a picture. So desktop, take a picture of your microbit pet, and place a picture of your microbit pet here so we can use it. I want to see some of your there's different designs, there's a different creative ones you can use. Here's some other ones that we've made here. So you can try different designs for your pet, different colors as well, of course. Okay, and place a screenshot there. Okay, so we're going to come back to the next part. So the next part is we're going to add some sounds to our micro pet, and there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Actually, I'm not sure if it'll fit inside here when we do that, actually, but if you want to add some sounds, you might have, there's different versions of the microbit. So this one is the version 1, but also version 2 has a little speaker on the back here. So what we can do is, if you have version 1, you can actually connect some speakers to it. Okay, and this is an extra challenge for you here. So here is a little speaker. It's just got 2 little pins on it here. Okay, 2 little pins, and you just connect them via a crocodile clip. Okay, and another crocodile clip here. And so what you can do is you can connect this to the bottom of your microbit like this, on 0, pin 0, and pin on the ground pin. Okay, and we can add some sound to it. Okay, so that's the way it should look, and we can have a little micro bit there. And if we switch over to our code here, okay, if we switch over our code, we can add a sound here. So we can do music, and we can play middle C, for example, for 1 beat. So if you go to your, you can press it there. So I can download that to our microbit here, and if I press the button, you can see, or you can hear, sorry, it feeding our pet. Okay, so we can add some more things to that then. We switch back over. Okay, we want to play a sound whenever the micro pet has expired. Okay, so we can actually play a whole song here. So we can drop that in there. And of course, I'm going to choose the sad one here. And we can try that then. We can download it. Okay, so again, switch over to my micro pet here. Okay, and I can feed it, and it's happy there. Okay, so here you can hear now when it's passed away, it's made a sound, and it's not going to stop until you reset it, basically. Okay, so that's another one. You could try some more advanced stuff you could do. Again, place the code for this one. There's some information about it here. Place some information about the code here. Place a screenshot of your code here for adding sounds, and then adding more sounds as well. So the 2 sounds we added. Okay. Extension task then, if you have some time, is why don't you try to use the accelerometer? So what happens when you shake your micropet? So here I can grab the input, and we can do on shake here, and we can add a new face, for example. So show icon, we can have a different face, for example a shocked face there, and we can do some more music. We can have 2 different tones this time. Maybe you can have a bit of fun with this one and try it. We can try 2 different sounds here. So now when I download that, so if I plug it in again here and press download here, we should have different sounds there. So if I shake it, okay, yeah, so it makes a different sound because I've shaken it. Okay, so we can have a bit of fun with that one as well. Okay, so that's all of it, and I'll just disconnect that. So I hope you've enjoyed this course for Introduction to BBC Microbit. If you haven't done so already, you can start checking out some other courses that I've posted on online on YouTube as well. Okay, and I hope to see you in the next one. And of course, don't forget to check out the other videos and like and subscribe on Mr. Harron Learn, Code and Innovate.